Hello friends, I am Shireen Malik and I am here to assist you and guide you with your paper 6 of ICWA intermediate level, that is Law and Ethics. Now basically you will be wondering as to why are we studying Law and Ethics in a course like a professional course like cost accounting. So it is very important firstly to understand why are we studying a particular subject. Law, as you all know, is a codified set of rules which are formed taking into consideration the societal concepts of right and wrong. And beyond law, if something is still uncodified, it is uncodified till date, then it forms the part of ethics. In every professional course, law is taught. Why? Because a person, whoever is handling a particular portfolio, a particular area of work, has to remain within the legal limits, and hence law is taught in every professional course, be it banking, be it doctor, be it lawyer itself, or this professional course like cost accounting. So if today certain things are uncodified, they are not developed into the particular shape of law, they have not taken that shape, then comes your morality, your sense of judgment of right and wrong, your honesty, your fairness, and that is the concept of ethics. It is basically how you want to get governed, by what principles you want to get governed. If something today is not written anywhere, something which is not being punished, the violation of something which is not punished today, but you feel this is right and this is wrong, that is your particular choice, and that forms the part of ethics. Hence, it is very important whenever you are in any professional course or you are preparing for any professional exam, the knowledge of law and ethics is a must. And today we are here to study the law section of your paper 6 of ICWA. Now let's come to the scheme of this paper. You have various laws to study, like you have Indian Contract Act, you have Sales of Goods, you have Partnership Act, Negotiable Act, you have Companies Law, you have industrial laws like Factories Act, Payment of Bonus Act, and then 10% of your course is the part of business ethics. So the major chunk is the law portion that covers the 90% of the marking scheme. Today we are here to cover a very small portion of Indian Contract Act. So now let's discuss a small bit about the Indian Contract Act. So Contract Act before 1872, when this act was codified, before that there were definitely contractual relations that you would agree. There were mercantile trade which was going on, but it was not codified. So it was done on the basis of barter, it was done on the basis of concept of fair play. And it was only in 1872 that Indian Contract Act was codified, and which we are studying now. It is a very simple act, and I request you, before we go beyond this introduction part, I request you to keep your book, your ICWA book, a notebook and a paper and a pen and pencil with you. Pencil you will mark in the book, and pen you will write notes, whatever I dictate. So let's come to the definition clause of Indian Contract Act. Now you have heard a lot about the word offer, कि भाई इसने मुझे ऑफर दिया है. तो ऑफर वर्ड जो है वो बेसिकली इसमें यूज नहीं किया गया है. ऑफर इज अ वर्ड ऑफ कॉमन पार्लेंस, बट इट इज नॉट यूज अंडर द एक्ट. ऑफर की जगह जो वर्ड यूज किया गया है वो है प्रपोजल. ठीक. सेक्शन 2A जो डेफिनेशन क्लॉज का है, दैट डिफाइंस एज टू व्हाट इज अ प्रपोजल, एंड इन कॉमन पार्लेंस इट सेज व्हाट इज एन ऑफर. When a person signifies to another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing something with a view to obtain his assent is said to make a proposal. This is a long definition, right? This is a long definition, and if you are reading it for the first time, you might not understand it. So there is a way to study the definitions, to study the act, that is to break the sentences. Even if there is no comma, you have to break the sentences into pieces, and then you have to understand the concept. We will do the same. When a person signifies, there is a person who is signifying something to somebody. Now signifies can be in two ways. First is express and second is implied. Right? First is express and second is implied. So signifies word includes both the connotations, that is the express signification and the implied proposal, right? To another. That means there has to be more than one person, minimum two or more, right? I cannot make a proposal to myself. I need somebody else also to whom I will make a proposal. Hence, the definition clearly states that when a person signifies to another his willingness. Now, what is this willingness all about? This willingness is to enter into a contractual relationship, to enter into a legal relationship. Now, what is a legal relation? A relation which is recognized by law. If I tell you, will you come for a coffee with me? This is not a legal relation. This is basically a social relation which I intend to form. But that is not covered under the Act. Why? Because that is not recognized by law. Legal relationships are recognized by law, and here willingness, the term willingness signifies the entering into a legal relationship or a contractual relationship. To do or to abstain. To do means a positive act and to abstain means a negative act, right? If I do something, I am positively putting something into action, I am doing it. If I am not doing something, I am restraining myself from doing something, that is the to abstain from doing. But remember, abstinence does not mean illegal thing, right? It does not mean if I am supposed, I am legally bound to do something and then also I am abstaining, that is not covered under this definition. That is illegal and hence it is not covered under the definition. Abstinence means simply which is not illegal, but you are you intend to abstain yourself from doing that. We will take examples and you will understand it better. From doing something. Something means some act or something which has some value in the eyes of law, right? This something is known as the consideration, which we will read in section 2D. This we will read in section 2D, consideration. With a view to obtain his assent. Why am I saying all this? Why am I making a proposal? Because I want an acceptance. I want something in return. That is why I am making all such efforts. Why am I making a proposal? With a view to obtain his assent. Who is his? This another. Right? So, what is my intention? I am telling you, will you sell me 100 bales of cotton? Why am I telling you this? Because I intend to enter into a legal relationship with you. And why am I saying this? Because I want your acceptance to my offer. This person is said to make a proposal, right? So the person who is making a proposal, is the promiser, and the person to whom the proposal is made is known as the promisee. So this is your definition of proposal, right? Section 2A talks about the proposal. Now let's talk about section 2B, that is the acceptance. This assent here means acceptance. I request you to study the definitions from the book. It will save time. If I write it, it will be a little time taking. Now, what is the meaning of acceptance? In layman's language, I have made an offer to you. You will think about it and either you will accept it or you will reject it. So, if there is a rejection, then the whole story comes to an end. But if there is an acceptance, then the story will continue. So, acceptance means when the person to whom the proposal is made, signifies his assent thereto, the person is said to accept the proposal. Now, what is important in this definition? To whom? Means if I have made an offer to B, C cannot come and accept it, right? Because I intend to enter into a relationship with B only. I don't want acceptance of C, otherwise I could have given the offer to C, right? So the person to whom the proposal is made, he accepts it, then only it is a valid acceptance. He or through his recognized agent, right? So agency, the recognized agents are also covered under this concept of to whom. To whom the proposal is made signifies. Now what is signifies under this definition? Signifies again means express or implied communication. If I think this, yes, A has given me an offer and I want to accept the offer, but then that does not matter. If I am thinking when till the time it is in my mind, it is no acceptance. I have to communicate. So that is signifies. Either I will communicate by words or I will communicate by actions. Both the things are covered under this definition. So signifies means the person who is accepting the proposal has to signify, has to communicate it to the proposer or the offerer, right? And when this proposal is accepted, it becomes a promise. A has given offer to B, B has accepted it, so it becomes a promise. The person making the proposal is the promiser and the person accepting it is the promisee, and the whole arrangement is the promise, right? Now let's come to a very important definition of consideration. Why consideration is important? Now when you are entering into contractual relationships, your legal relationships, consideration plays a very important role. That is the main motive of the whole arrangements. That is the whole purpose of why you are entering into a contractual relationship. I will not enter into a contractual relationship just like that. No, that does not make sense at all. So consideration is important. Consideration is usually 99% of the times it is for both the sides. If I am making a proposal to B, will you sell me 100 bales of cotton? B accepts it. So what is my consideration? I need cotton. What is B's consideration? He needs money. So this is the whole arrangement is based on the consideration. The consideration for B is cotton and for money, and for A it is cotton. So this is the whole consideration. Consideration in Latin means quid pro quo. Means something for something. Something for something, right? So this is the consideration. Now let's go to the definition. The definition of consideration is a long one, but it is a very easy definition. We will break it and we will understand it. When at the desire of the promiser, when at the desire of the promiser, the promisee or any other person has done something, abstained from doing something, promises to do something, promises to abstain from doing something, is consideration. Now section 2D is the consideration. Now what is the meaning of at the desire? Let's understand it in a very easy and layman language. If I am going to a shop to buy a sari, say I am going to a shop to buy a sari, right? I ask the shopkeeper, will you sell me this sari? So I have made an offer. Will you sell me the sari? He says, yes, I will sell you the sari. This is available, this is in stock, I will sell it to you, right? So I have made an offer and he has accepted my offer. So that's acceptance. I ask the value. What is the value of this? What is the cost of the sari? He says it's for rupees 5,000. Fine. What is consideration? Consideration is, for me it is sari and for him it is rupees 5,000. Now let's come here. when at the desire of the promisor. When at the desire of the promisor. So consideration is decided by the promisor. If he tells me that it is for rupees 5,000, I can't say that no, it's not for rupees 5,000, it's for rupees 2,000. We will study the negotiating part also, but for now let's understand when there is no bargaining. It's fixed price shop, right? I cannot decide as to what is the value of the sari, what is the value of that product. Why? Because he will decide when at the desire of the promisor. He has to decide that. If I do not want it, I will not accept it. I will just leave and go, right? So the consideration comes from the promisor, the promisee or any other person. Now I can give 5,000 rupees from my pocket, or I can take it from my friend's pocket. I can tell her, please pay for the sari. Now it does not matter for the shopkeeper from whom the consideration is coming. He wants rupees 5,000, be it from my pocket or be it from my friend's pocket. He is not concerned about that. So consideration can come from anywhere. Let's take another example. If I have a loan account, and I have my monthly installment is rupees 10,000. I deposit every month rupees 10,000 in my loan account. In one of the months, my mother has deposited rupees 10,000. It does not matter for the bank. The bank wants rupees 10,000 monthly installment. That is it. That is the end of story. From where it is coming, it is not concerned. It can come from anywhere. So consideration can come from anywhere, from any person. Consideration can be past, present or future. Right? Consideration can be past, present or future. Now, if I have taken something on credit, today I have taken that sari, I knew the shopkeeper and I told him I do not have 5,000 right now, I will pay it to you later. Fine, he accepted. He said, you take the sari and pay me after a week. So my consideration has come. Because of my consideration 1 week later, because I had a past consideration of that sari, today he is getting that 5,000 rupees. After a week he is getting 5,000 rupees. So that's past consideration. If the transaction is happening today itself, at that point of time, taken the sari, given 5,000, that's present consideration. And what is the future consideration? I will buy the sari later, because today some religious thing is there, I cannot buy. I will buy it later. You keep this token money. You keep rupees 1,000 as token money. You do not sell it. Keep it as a sold item. I will take it later. Right? That is future consideration. So, in section 2D, your past, present and future consideration is there. All the three of the transactions are covered under this definition. And also consideration can come from anywhere. The source does not matter, and consideration is decided by the promisor. So this is an important definition and a little lengthy also. So you have to make sure that you break the definition and then you understand it. That will be easy for you. Now let's come to section 2E, that is agreement. Section 2E says that every promise and set of promises forming consideration for each other is an agreement, right? So there was a promise to buy a sari and give rupees 5,000, accept it, right? It has become a promise. There was an offer, there was an acceptance, it has become a promise, there is consideration, and hence it has turned into an agreement. Section 2E is very simple. Every promise or every set of promises forming consideration for each other is an agreement, right? Now, when does it become a contract? This was section 2E. Now, when does your agreement take a shape of a contract? For that we have to understand as to what are void contracts, what are illegal contracts, that we have to understand. So basically an agreement will be taken to be a contract only when it is enforceable by law. Only when it is enforceable by law. Let's understand this crystal clear with the help of an example. If A and B are two partners and they are partners in crime, they have a conspiracy that we will go on the morning of 1st January, we will go to C's house and commit a theft. Right? They have mutually decided that we will go to C's house on the 1st of January and we will commit theft. And whatever are the proceeds from that crime, we will divide it into 50-50. Right? We will divide it into 50-50. Okay, this is the agreement between them. So agreement is there. Till section 2E we have come. Now does it take the shape of a contract? Can it take? No, it cannot take. Why? Because it is not enforceable by law. The court will not recognize it. If suppose A runs with the whole 100% of the proceeds, he has not given a single rupee to B. Can B go to the court and say, Judge, he has not given me money. We decided that we will share it 50-50. He has run away. Please find him. No, the court will say, B, you come inside first. You get arrested first. Then we will find your partner in crime also. Right? So it is not recognized by law. It is illegal. It is beyond the principles of law. It is violating the provisions of IPC. Hence, it is not unenforceable by court. You can't go to the court for such kinds of agreements. Hence, it is not contract. Till agreement, everything was fine, but it could not become a contract because it is not enforceable by law. Let's come to the first example. 100 bales of cotton, 4 rupees, say 10,000. If I have taken 100 bales of cotton from B, but I did not pay B rupees 10,000, or I have paid only rupees 5,000 in credit, and I am not paying on the due date, then one second. Then can B go to the court? Yes, he can, because such agreements are enforceable. He can go to the consumer court. He can say that he has not A has not paid, or if A had paid rupees 10,000 but B had not delivered, he has not performed his service, then even A could have gone. So basically it depends as to you are entering into an agreement, but enforceability, if there is a tick mark on enforceability, then it becomes a contract, otherwise it is not a contract. What is a void agreement? Void agreement means 2E was agreement, 2G is void agreement. The definition says an agreement which is not enforceable or is void. Now, there is a difference between void and illegal. Right? There is a difference between void and illegal. Let's take example of void agreement. Void may not be illegal, right? So we will understand the difference. Let's take an example as to what is a void agreement. Suppose I am a shopkeeper and I deal in oils, different kinds of oils, right? I have coconut oil, I have mustard oil, I have groundnut oil, almond oil, every kind of oil, edible oil is present with me. A customer comes and says, I want 1 liter oil. Is this the whole arrangement, can it be recognized by law? Is it enforceable? I packed, I thought some oil he wants. I did not ask which oil you want. The most expensive was almond oil. So I packed 1 liter of almond oil and I delivered. And then he said, I did not want almond oil. I wanted groundnut oil. He goes to the court that he has charged more, he has given me the wrong product. Then I will say, Judge, I did not know which oil was to be delivered. He did not tell me at all. So, can the judge recognize it? Can it be enforced? No, it cannot be, because there is a vacuum. There is no certainty. If the things are not certain, how will you enter into a contract? Because the terms are not certain. The terms have to be very certain and crystal clear between both the parties. There has to be consensus ad idem. This is a very important term. Consensus ad idem. if I am saying something, the other person with whom I intend to enter into a relationship should understand that particular thing in the same manner as I intend to communicate, or as I intend in my arrangement of contract. So consensus ad idem means meeting of minds. We should understand one thing in the same manner. It should be the same product, it should be the same price, it should be the same quality, everything has to be same. So then only there is a crystal clear contractual relationship. Otherwise, if there is some mismatch, if there is no meeting of minds, there is no consensus ad idem, then it is not enforceable by law, and hence it is a void agreement. Right? Now, void does not mean illegal. Now, if I say that the terms of the contract were not certain, does it mean that it has become something illegal? No, it does not. Right? Illegal means to violate the provisions of any of the law for the time being in force. So, if I say illegal, then also it is not enforceable. If I say void, then also it is not enforceable. But void does not mean illegal. Right? You will not be punished. For illegal, you might be punished also. Right? Now, contract we have dealt with. An agreement enforceable by law is a contract. Right? An agreement which is enforceable by law is a contract. So, this is the whole story. As from proposal you have started and you have entered into a contract. This is the definition clause, and there is two more definitions which are still left. We will cover that also. 2I, voidable agreements. Voidable contracts. Voidable contracts. And the last one is subsequently void. Now, voidable contracts. Voidable means void was absolutely it comes to zero. शून्य हो जाता है वो, ठीक है? It is not enforceable by law. Voidable means that contract has the ability of getting void, of getting zero at the option of one party. Only one party has that right to declare it void. Right? We will understand it with an example, and this is dealt with in section 10 also exhaustively. So, A and B enter into a contractual relationship. But when what is the relationship about? A says to B, you sign the property papers. The property is for the value of rupees 10 lakh. The property is for the value of rupees 10 lakh, but A threatens him. A threatens him and says, I will pay you only rupees 1 lakh. Right? So this is the contractual relationship. There is a consideration, no doubt. 1 lakh rupees. Two parties are there. A is threatening B. You sign the property papers in my favor. I will give you rupees 1 lakh. But the property is worth rupees 10 lakh. Right? B is threatened. B is threatened that something will happen to me. A will injure me, or A will injure my near and dear ones. So he signs it. Right? He signs it. So per se, prima facie, this looks as a proper arrangement. It is enforceable also. If A does not pay rupees 1 lakh, B can still go to the court. Right? So prima facie, it is looking all okay. But later, suppose B goes to the court and says, I was threatened when I was signing the papers. I was being threatened to get only rupees 1 lakh. Otherwise, A would have injured me. A would have acted something which is violating the Indian Penal Code. Hence, I want to break this contract. I want to cancel this contract. I want to be declared it as null and void. Right? So it is voidable. If only at the option of B, the contract can be declared as void, it becomes a voidable contract. A can't go to the court to declare it void. Why? Because he's not coming with clean hands. B can go. And if he does not go, then it is a valid contract. So a voidable contract till the time it is not declared void by the court is a valid contract, right? There are many more instances which are covered under section 10 and 11 and beyond, which we shall study later. Subsequently void or impossibility of happening of a particular thing, right? Now subsequent void we have studied that it is not enforceable by law. So we had taken an example of uncertainty of terms of contract. Subsequently void means till a particular point of time the contract was valid, right? Something has happened subsequently which has rendered the contract void, right? Suppose I have entered into a contractual relation with B who is sitting in, say, Sri Lanka, right? I have entered into a contractual business relationship with B who is sitting in Sri Lanka, and it is regarding some export and import of products. Suppose, so everything was valid till this time. Now suppose what happens subsequently on a future date, India and Sri Lanka have bad relations, and Indian government declares that no person shall enter into a business relationship with Sri Lanka, and they have become our enemies, right? So can this contract be eventually materialized? No, it can't be. So it has become subsequently void. Something has happened in future due to which now the contract cannot be performed in its truest terms, and that is termed as subsequently void, right? So this was the example. I hope the things are clear to you, a little clear to you. I request you to study it again from your book and read it thoroughly. You may make notes also. It is advisable in fact to make notes, and this is a small effort which I am making. I hope you like it, and if you like it, then hit the like button and do subscribe to my channel. We shall be dealing with the whole course of law portion which is covered under paper 6. Until then, goodbye.